Welcome everyone. I'm Margie Graff. I'm the President and CEO of the Rockville Chamber of Commerce. I'm thrilled and delighted that we can bring you our virtual presentation of the 31st Annual Rockville Public Safety Awards. The Rockville Public Safety Awards is held in cooperation with the City of Rockville and the Rockville Chamber of Commerce to honor members of the Rockville City Police Department, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, Montgomery County Department of Correction and Rehabilitation, and Rockville Volunteer Fire Department, as well as civilians who have contributed to the safety of our community. The program is sponsored by these community service clubs of Rockville, Rockville Kiwanis Club and the Rockville Rotary Club. And we would like to thank our corporate sponsors, Pepco, Westat, Mars Studio, and Comfort Care. I would now like to turn the program over to Judy Cruz, media consultant and executive editor of the Greater Olney News.
Thank you and welcome again to the 31st Annual Rockville Public Safety Awards. We are happy to have the commanders of the 4 public safety organizations that we are honoring today. With us are Chief Victor Brito and Assistant Chief or Deputy Chief Laura Lanham from the Rockville City Police Department, Sheriff Darren Popkin and Chief Deputy Sheriff Max Wee from the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. We have Chief Jim Vagonis and President Eric Bernard from the Rockville Volunteer Fire Department. And we have Director Angela Talley from the Montgomery County Department of Correction and Rehabilitation. Now I welcome Chief Brito to hand out the awards.
Good morning. I want to thank everybody, in particular the Rockville Chamber of Commerce, the City of Rockville, and all of our partners. This is a wonderful event as we honor the wonderful things that the men and women in all of our agencies do. In particular, today as we honor the Rockville City Police Department employees and sworn members. It's a wonderful event. Everything that we do each and every day, and the foundation of everything we do, is to protect our community and communicate effectively with them as we protect our community and as we serve our community. So thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to serve present our awards. The first award I'd like to bring up is a Distinguished Service Citation for Officer Ronnie Crow. Officer Crow, if you please come up. On January 15th, 2020, Officer Ronnie Crow arrested a person on open warrants and transported him to the Central Processing Unit at the Montgomery County Detention Center. While at CPU and completing the paperwork, Officer Crow saw the subject in the holding cell was lying on his side with his head resting on the bench. That was a clue for Officer Crow as he began banging on the door of the cell and yelling to get his attention, but noticed that the subject was not breathing. Officer Crow alerted CPU staff to access the cell, and he checked for a pulse and his vitals. Finding no pulse, Officer Crow began CPR, called for assistance on the radio, and after a period of CPR, the subject regained his vitals and his pulse and began breathing again. Fire and rescue arrived and transported the subject to the hospital, where he recovered and was later released. Due to Officer Crow's quick actions, judgment, and diligence, the man's life was saved. Wonderful, selfless act by Officer Crow, protecting those that we serve and even those that we arrest. Thank you very much, Officer Crow. Wonderful action for your Distinguished Service Citation. Thank you. Our next Distinguished Service Citation is Officer Jeremy Ziegler. Can you please come up, Jeremy? On May 6, 2019, Officer Jeremy Ziegler responded to a Rockville home for the report of a working code. Upon arrival, Officer Ziegler saw the caller beginning to perform CPR and took over. After a period of CPR, the person regained consciousness but had a weak pulse. Officer Ziegler learned that the subject was a heroin user and quickly administered a dose of Narcan that we recently issued to all of our police officers, which took effect and the subject became fully conscious. Fire and rescue arrived and transported the subject to the hospital. Due to Officer Ziegler's awareness, quick action, and timely judgment, a life was saved. Thank you, Officer Ziegler. Wonderful work. Our next Distinguished Service Citation is awarded to Officer Brandon Thomas. Unfortunately, he's unable to be here today, but I'd still like to read the exemplary work that contributed to this award. On December 12, 2019, Officer Brandon Thomas responded for a person not breathing at a fast food restaurant. Upon arrival, Officer Thomas determined that the patient had no pulse. Officer Thomas began CPR and continued CPR for approximately 7 minutes until fire and rescue arrived and took over. It was not for the quick action, judgment, Officer Thomas, the patient would likely not have survived. Thank you, Officer Thomas. Thank you very much. Our next award is the Meritorious Service Citation. Corporal John Lee, would you please come up? On July 24, 2019, Corporal Lee assisted with a search warrant in reference to a human trafficking investigation. Corporal Lee is a patrol officer, but he was requested an assignment for the specific assignment because of his Chinese language translation abilities. And without hesitation, he agreed to assist. In many of such cases, human trafficking victims are in fear and do not trust authority or the services that the government provides or is offering to assist. It is rare that victims agree to use and provided the services of translation that we provide. Officer Lee provided translation while interviewing 6 victims. 2 of them elected to get help and utilize our services that we provided through the city and through the county government. It was a direct result of Corporal Lee building a rapport with the victims and helping them understand that police were there to help them and assist. Without his abilities and without these abilities and his caring and compassion, Corporal Lee, the victims will not have the desire or the ability to get help so that they desperately need it. It was a wonderful act of compassion and communication. Thank you very much, Corporal Lee. Congratulations. Our next award and our last award, but certainly not the least of them. Mr. Jason Ming from the Police Information Technology Section. Please come up. Jason is like family to the Rockville City Police Department. He works tirelessly each and every day, off hours, weekends, to help assist us in all of our IT needs. And believe me, with an agency of approximately 100 people, in a very vibrant community, our IT needs are great. Jason handles all the IT support for the Rockville City Police Department, and I mean every bit of it. He is directly involved with managing the body-worn camera system, police computers, and every aspect of IT technology and support for the Rockville City Police Department. The community may find it hard to believe that the police department is not too IT savvy. You know, we have some ways to go with it. Luckily, Rockville and the city of Rockville and the police department has Jason, who makes himself available day and night and always resolves the issues quickly and to the satisfaction of all of our members. Jason Ming's efforts and his dedication are commendable, and he regularly goes above and beyond to ensure that the city police department's IT needs are met each and every day. Without his work, which often goes unnoticed, the police department will be struggling through many of these issues and have a hard time delivering the quality services that we do each and every day. With that, I'd like to present the Meritorious Service Citation to Jason Nick. Thank you. As I said at the beginning, our members work tirelessly day in, day out to provide dedicated, compassionate police services to all of our community members. We have a great police department, and we will continue to do those things that put us above and beyond in our community and in our policing endeavors. Thank you very much for your time today, and please be safe and healthy.